Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Going for a face shave. This is going to be a versus or a face off, whatever you want to call it. Aluminium versus aluminium, or in America or Canada, aluminum versus aluminum. I'm going to stick to aluminium because that's what I've always used and that's the right way of saying it and spelling it, I think. Right, so for today, you'll have to excuse me, my arm is getting better, but it's still struggling. Barrister's Reserve Cool. Now, the scent on this one is based on Floyd Blue, I believe, and I really love this scent. It is old school. It does have a sort of granddad vibe about it, you know it does. Now, when you first buy a reserve base soap, I'm not sure how much of the reserve base is still out there in terms of being able to get hold of it, but it comes like that. It looks a bit like that. It's a bit lighter normally. You can see the side is lighter than the top of the soap. It's very soft when you first get it. The longer you have it, it's quite hard now. I can hardly push my finger into it. So obviously the moisture evaporates from it. I don't know why he doesn't cure it for longer and just leave it till it goes hard. But it's a difficult soap to work with. I find it sort of very hit and miss whether I'm going to get a great lather or not. And since I'm enjoying this, I'm not going to move away from it. I'm really enjoying using it because I just love the handle and the knot. It has got a great knot on it. This is that Dan Robb brush. You've seen it for the last two shaves, if you've joined me for the last two, that is. It's just absolutely spectacular. And straight into the soap. I'll try and hold it up again. With this big cast on, it's surprisingly comfortable to hold my arm up like this and hold the soap. I could probably have been using soaps. Just dip at the tips. A lot longer than I thought I could, but I'm still struggling with pain where the break is. The break is sort of maybe 4 inches towards my elbow from my wrist. And I'm still feeling it and it's still hurting. And I am starting to worry now that when the 29th comes, which is the day I get my cast off, that they're going to have to put another cast on and it hasn't actually healed because it's only 7 days away and I'm still hurting. Obviously everyone takes longer to heal. I'm just sort of hoping that the actual pain that I'm getting, I'm really loading this up quite heavy because I do struggle with this soap. Yeah, I'm hoping the pain that I'm getting is mainly, open the window up, gets rid of some of the echo. So that's what's left in the tub. I'm just going to wet my face. I've got 3 days growth, I think. Now I haven't had time to go on and look at Samsung's phones and see how I can get rid of this beauty mode on the selfie cam. I have a funny feeling that you can't get rid of it. I think it's just there all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. It does make me, it smooths my skin out and things, but I do find when you get in a little bit closer, it's just not quite as good quality. Now in terms of my latest videos that I've uploaded, I've been using the front facing camera on the S10 Plus. It's pretty good quality, it's okay. I would say it's better than the iPhone sort of 8, you know, I can't remember the last iPhone I had before. Maybe the iPhone 7 actually, before I got the 10, I can't remember. So it's better than that. But in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, just in pure 4K camera ability from the rear camera, the iPhone absolutely knocks the Samsung out of the park easily. You can record a single video until your battery dies pretty much, as long as your storage is big enough. Right, let's start painting this on. It's just a great video recording camera on the iPhone. However, I will say, if you ask me, do I miss the iPhone XS Max since I've went to Samsung? And I can't honestly say that I do. I don't miss it at all. I actually prefer this phone. I prefer the adaptability, the ability to just change anything really. You know, if you want a different colours, tabs, different coloured anything. If you want to do different things with it, it works better. You can do so much more. It's so much more customizable. but the video quality is definitely lacking. The camera, in terms of photographs, is excellent. I really like the photographs that the Samsung takes. Right, let's just dip the tips. Start introducing some moisture. Now, Barrister's Reserve base is a very, very thirsty base. It loves water. Now, if you watch Rud's shaves, which I do, I watch pretty much all of his videos because they're quick. I do find, unfortunately, if Ruds does watch my channel, which I don't think he does, I do find him boring. I find he's got a very monotone voice. He reads off a piece of paper or something that he writes on the mirror, which is quite annoying for me. But he's quick to the point, he does a good lather, and he's got some nice shaving gear. I'm not saying by any means that I'm an exciting guy to watch and that my voice isn't monotone, but it's each to their own. But I still watch him, I still like his channel, I don't know why. I still watch it. I don't agree on all his ratings. I think sometimes I watch it just to see what his ratings are. He does have a rating system which is excellent. Gives you something to gauge things against. I certainly don't have Katie's Bubbles anywhere near the 90s, or any, not even in my top 10 soaps. As you can see, it's starting to build up nicely. If you watch Red Shaves use Reserve, he talks about it being a low structure lather. And they talk about it on West Coast Shaving being a low structure lather as well. I don't think it has to be low structure. I think if you just spend enough time with it, you can build this into a lovely lather. But it's certainly not as dense or as voluminous as the Excelsior range or the Glissant range from Barrister & Mann. Right, so there is the brush. Get the soap off. Now, Barrister's Reserve, believe it or not, is in my opinion the worst base that they make. I don't think they do that. I think that's the lowest base. I actually find the lather range better than Reserve. The scents aren't as good. This scent is superb, but the actual base itself isn't as good. Right, this is going to be a face-off now because I've only got one hand, really. It's between the Above the Tie in the blue and the Karve Christopher Bradley razor in the red. I'm not sure whether that's focusing on both or not. There we go. So I'm going to do the right hand side of my face with the Karve. I've got brand new Voskhod blades in each razor, so they're both the exact same blade. I don't think I've used a Voskhod in the Above the Tie, so I don't even know whether it's going to work. I don't know whether it's going to work in the aluminium version of the Karve either, so here we go. I put the blade in. Holy shit. Now, there's not much feedback there. It's taking the hair down. You can see it's taking the hair down. I can't feel the blade at all. It feels like there's no blade in there. Now, someone asked, I think it was on the Aluminium Karve razor video, my first one, from a few days ago. If I had to choose one of the Karve razors, brass, stainless or aluminium, which one would it be? And it would be this. The aluminium razor gives me the ultimate controlled pressure. I sometimes find when I use stainless steel with brass razors, I get irritation just mainly from pressing too hard. the first pass done, and as you can see, that looks pretty good. I never expect amazing things from a first pass. It really is just reducing the first stage of the beard down. Now, above the tie, Calypso R1 is a beautiful razor. Now, one thing I noticed straight away when I picked this out of the cupboard and I picked the Karve out is this is a lot heavier. The handle on this is made out of solid aluminium, whereas the Karve, I believe, is similar style to the brass and stainless, whereby it's hollowed out in the middle and it's a three-piece handle that has the top and the base that are squeezed into the handle, so it's a lot lighter. This one's actually, I mean, I would say a good 10, possibly more grams heavier than the Karve, easily, probably heavier than that maybe. But brand new Voscord blade. Oh yeah, very, very smooth in here as well. And I'm using the C plate. Oh no, wait a minute, I don't think I am. I think I'm using the B plate. I screwed up here. I am, that's the B plate, so it's actually the milder plate. I should really be comparing this with the C plate, but I'm just going to stick with the B now that I've started using it. Okay, first impressions are, there's more feedback with this, definitely, with the Karve, with the above the tie, and it's also easy to get under the nose, and it's not as smooth. It's not as smooth on my lip for sure. I could really feel the cutting of the hair on the lip. So unfortunately what's going to happen here is more than likely the above the tie side is going to be closer because it's a more efficient blade setting. So I'll just pick my fingers. Yeah, it's a little bit closer. It's not miles closer, but it's definitely closer. I was expecting that. Had I used the C plate on the car, I think I would probably have been closer and closer to that of the above the ties shave in terms of closeness, but I have to take into account now that it's a milder blade setting on the Karve. Right, just wipe my face again. Tell you what, I think this brush is eating the lather again. It has. You can see how watery that, how sort of clear that is. But I think that'll be okay to shave with. So that's twice now out of 5 uses with that brush, that knot, that I've lost the lather. Right, the Karve across the grain was so much lighter. Now they both have overhang, so you're going to have blade hanging out of the edge of the razor on both razors. I think I've just found my favourite razor. That is so smooth. Right, finishing off, going this way still with the above the tie. Way more feedback. Now with the above the tie, I'm not really using any pressure, similar with the Karve. What I will say with the Karve is I feel I can actually give it some pressure. It feels like it's going to be very forgiving of applying pressure. Right, second pass done, and they both feel very similar. Very similar, you can't really discern a difference, and that's the whole thing about double-edged shaving. You don't need to go for an aggressive razor if you're doing a 3-pass shave, because by the time you get to the end, you get the same outcome, generally. Right, there's nothing left in this brush that I can really see, but I'm going to finish off with it anyway. Now this could also be Barrister's Reserve. I'm not great with it, it's not, for me it's a pretty average soap. The scent and the splash is what keeps me coming back to it and why it stood the test of time. But the only other Reserve base I have is Fougere Gothique, which is a shame. Personally, I think it should be released in Excelsior. I think if Will made it into the Excelsior base, it's one of the greatest things ever. Oh, going all the way across there. Just have it. Lovely. And finish off this side with the Karve now. It's far superior. It's far superior to the above the tie. Albeit the shave, both sides, feels beautiful. I'm very, very close. That red mark there, I think, you can't really see it because the beauty thing's trying to cover it up. There's a little red mark there, it's quite prominent in the mirror. Loads of residual slickness. Feels beautiful on the skin. I've got no weepers or cuts either side, so that's a bonus. I'm just going to pop a little bit of soap just around my lips. A little bit of clear stuff. That's not really soap, is it? What I mean, what is that? Yes. I don't know whether that's the sort of thing Karve want to be hearing. The aluminium, in my opinion, shaves way better than the stainless and brass, but it still shaves everything else as well, so it's still a cracking razor. But the above the tie still shaves superbly well. It's an amazing little razor, it's very lightweight. I prefer lighter razors, I really do. I honestly think if Karve went down the route of titanium, they would create the ultimate razor. Because the titanium's so much lighter, and it could obviously hollow out to whatever he wants on the handle, make it the right weight. If it wasn't a million miles heavier than that, if it's just a bit heavier, I think it'd be the ultimate razor. I don't think anything would beat it. But overall, I've got a completely nick-free, blood-free, cut-free, irritation-free shave here. I've got no no discernible feeling of pain or anything on my skin. It feels great on both sides, so I really have to praise the buffet tie as well. The Voskhod blade works beautifully in both, but in that Karve razor I could barely feel, I couldn't feel the blade actually, sorry. Couldn't feel the blade, but it cut so smoothly and comfortably and closely. Right, after shave splash, Reserve Cool from Barrister & Man. As you can see, it is blue. Give it a good shake up. These are a bit more awkward to use when you've only got one hand. So I don't know whether we can see that there. Look at that. Look how blue that is. Oh, that scent is absolutely incredible. Now the kick of menthol in this splash as well is absolutely perfect. Like I say, the scent is pretty old school, but it has a sort of modern feel to it. It doesn't feel like grandad, you know, it's not Old Spice or Brut or Paco Rabanne, but it does have an old sort of smell to it. But it also works for today's market. I find when I wear this, the wife loves it. I really enjoy it. I think it does carry well into this sort of era, whereby crazy scents pretty much the in thing at the moment. Just giving the brush a good rinse out. Yeah, I do think the Barrister Reserve is probably the most difficult soap I find to lather. I do have a soap heading into the den at the moment, which is also renowned to be difficult to lather, and I have used it before and really struggled with it. You probably know what it is, Mitchell's Wool Fat. I do have a brand new one on the way. Very difficult soap to get hold of second hand, which says a lot for it, so I'm going to get it in, I'm going to give it a bash, and I'm going to see if I can get a lather out of it. Now, I don't fancy my chances, given how poor the water is in Western Australia, but I'll give it a go anyway. So the shave for today, we started off with Barrister's Reserve Cool, which is the soap. The brush was that Dan Rob custom with a 26mm, fan knot, which you can see the bloom on that now. It's massive. It's a big old knot, pretty dense, very soft, great face feel, brilliant brush. The razor blade for today was good old Voskhod, and for the right side of my face I had the Karve Christopher Bradley razor in aluminium with the red base plate. Come on. Now this one is B plate, so it's 0.73 blade gap, I think, 0.73. I'm not actually sure what the blade gap is on this one, above the tie R1 Calypso. I think it's 0.87, I think, from memory. They're both very good shavers, they're both very smooth, but the Karve is just, even though they're both very smooth and great razors, that just shows how good the Karve is, because it's head and shoulders above the tie. It really is. It's smoother, it's as efficient, even though it's the B plate, which is 0.1 of a blade gap smaller, 0.1 of a blade gap smaller than the above the tie is, but it still shaves superbly well, so close, and I can't grumble with that. I'm really happy with that. Finished off today with Reserve Cool from Barrister & Man, and I'm off out for lunch with my dad up to Perth to take take Millie out, my daughter. I'm going to take her out for lunch after school, and then head back home later on. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.